Are they going to be able to use it?
And they get 5 pieces.
We got those. Perfect. Feel good about that.
Why don't you get 5?
Okay. Ashley's passing out some copies of the PS&G model. It's my fault. I forgot to send her a copy to make. But while she's doing that, a couple things. I wanted to congratulate all the award winners last night. I know we've got the Virginia crew. It took a while for I think Chris and everybody to get back home with all that hardware that we had in that big bus of his. But they're joining us remotely from Virginia. Other award winners, Mark, I know you won Rookie of the Year. Is that right? Yeah. Congratulations. And for all the staff and Linda and Ashton and everybody that made last night such a wonderful evening. Graham, thank you very much. And Mark, what a wonderful speech. Thank you for sharing your conviction and for your heart and your passion for this business. And wonderful evening. Thank y'all for getting up early this morning. I know Louise was out till what, 3 or 4 last night? And,
Is that true, Louise?
No, I'm just kidding. But thanks for getting up early this morning, and we will have probably 3 hours of some discussions. It's impossible for those of you that are new to LEAP. It's impossible in 3 hours for me to give you 20 years of my experiences. But what I hope to do is begin to create an opportunity for you to start on a path. I think as you sit here today, those of you that are already using the process, hopefully we'll get some things to you that will help you grow in that process. For those of you who are new to it, my hope is that you get an idea or two out of it that you can turn around and use this evening or tomorrow, right away in the meeting. I think the big thing you got to figure out is this going to be the process that you use or not? It's been what I've experienced to be a difference maker for me for the last 20 years that I've used it. One of the things that I would encourage you to do is write down 3 things. Because when you're meeting someone for the first time, I learned this in the interpersonal communications workshop several years ago. When you're meeting someone for the first time, they're asking themselves 3 questions. Number 1 is, what makes you different? See, they're trying, Robbie, to put you in a box. You're a stockbroker, are you an insurance salesman, or are you a financial planner? You know, they're trying to put you in a box that they are comfortable with. Does that make sense? And what we do with the LEAP model, the LEAP process, etc., they've never experienced before, so they need to understand why it's different. Question number 2 they're asking, if I work with you, what's the benefit to me? What's the benefit to my family? What should I expect? And the third question they're asking is, how much is this going to cost? If I decide to work with you, how much will this cost? Now, when it comes to cost, there's 2. Time and money. How long will this take and how much will this cost? So whatever process you use, you need to have very clear, definitive answers to each of those questions. Within LEAP, there are very clear answers that I think differentiate us in each one of those areas. And hopefully today, as we talk, you'll begin to understand how you can clearly define, Justin and I were talking about it last night at dinner, how you can clearly define the answers to those questions. That make sense? Okay. I'm going to start with LEAP, the acronym. What does it stand for? Good. Thank you, Vincent. Now, one of the things that I want to share with you is I've been in the business going on almost 30 years. I don't think I have a single client that knows what the word LEAP is. I don't tell them that we're going through the LEAP process. I don't tell them that we're getting ready to, as Bert, you and I have heard, we're getting ready to get leaped. Okay? There's something wrong about that. Okay? But I think that it's important for you to know what it actually stands for. That there's some thought behind those words, those letters. Okay. L stands for lifetime. Now, one of the things that I do for my clients all the time is I help them understand that the work that we do is going to be looking at their life on a timeline. Here they are today, and here they are at the end of their life. And financially, they're going to go through 3 phases. They're going to go through a phase of accumulation, where they're building their wealth. And at the end of that phase, typically as they're getting ready to retire, one of the things that they're trying to do is they're trying to reach their maximum financial potential. The second phase of their life is what we refer to as the distribution phase. They've built it. Now it's time to flip the switch, and it's time for their assets to generate their income. They're going to begin to distribute their wealth. And lastly, as they get closer to the end of their life, there's what we refer to as the preservation phase. One of the things that I appreciate, my clients appreciate about LEAP, is that we look at their entire lifetime. There are a lot of people out there who say, I'm in the estate planning business. They're focusing only on what? Preservation. There are people out there who are retirement specialists. They're focusing only on distribution. There are people out there, tends to be in the investment world, who say, I'm going to help you grow and build your wealth. One of the things I love about LEAP is we're looking at all 3 phases. And what we're asking the client to always analyze with every dollar they're applying to their situation, are they achieving maximum results in all 3 areas? Are they doing things to accumulate the maximum? Are they doing things that will enable them to distribute the maximum? And are they going to be in a position to preserve and pass on the maximum? So really, every dollar that we look at with a client, we're looking at it 3-dimensionally. Does that make sense? Okay. The E of LEAP stands for economic. Now, when I think about economics, 2 things pop to mind. One is numbers. Now, a lot of people in our business try to use numbers to apply towards money. And those things are totally different. Let me give you an example. If I gave you, Maury, 2 oranges today, and I come in, I give you 2 oranges tomorrow, and then I don't see you for 10 years. You and I reconnect 10 years from now, and I say, Maury, how are those oranges doing? Math would tell you that you would have how many oranges? 4. But in reality, how many oranges would Maury have? 0. Why? Because maybe Maury got hungry and ate them. Maybe Maury thought I was going to come back the next day or the next day or the next day, and he just kept saving them for me, and eventually, due to nature, they what? Rotted. Maybe somebody else came along and they were hungry and they stole them. Okay? So let me ask you a question. Is money work more like math, 2 + 2 in 10 years will be 4, or does it work more like the oranges? more like the oranges. So economically, we've got to factor in what's called eroding factors. Okay, there's 5 major eroding factors. Number 1, market risk. Number 2, taxes and tax rate changes. Number 3, planned obsolescence. Number 4, technological change. And number 5 is inflation. See, those are economic factors that affect every decision a client makes. What will the market do with that dollar? What will the government do from a tax rate standpoint? What will the world do from an inflationary standpoint? What will their life do as things they own become obsolete and have to be replaced? What will the world do as technology changes and they've got to go and get something new, bigger, shinier, bigger? Does that make sense? So that's the economic. A stands for acceleration. It's been my experience, Ram's experience, those of you who've been in business a long time, there's 2 ways to build wealth. You can accumulate it or you can accelerate it. Accumulate it or you can accelerate it. The world we live in tells people to accumulate it. Take a dollar, put it into one product, let it sit there, and through the miracle of compound interest, it should hopefully what? Grow. That's a dollar sitting in one drawer, working one way. It is impossible to create maximum results in accumulation, distribution, and preservation if you simply accumulate your wealth. Most of our clients do not have enough money. Does that make sense? They've got to get their dollars working multiple ways. So we have to bring to them through LEAP strategies that allow them to accelerate their wealth. If you think about it, it's nothing more than 3 plus 3 equals 6, but 3 times 3 equals 9. We simply got to figure out strategies in their model not to take more money, but to take the same dollars and accelerate that growth so that they can create more. Does that make sense? Okay. The last P stands for process. We have a process that we take the clients through. We're going to spend a lot of time talking about that process today. This is not a one meeting and done. If you expect to have one meeting with a client and then the client do things, change things, and you're finished, it's not going to happen. Okay? It's a process of growth. It's a process of a series of meetings, a series of opportunities to educate the client. And as a result of that education, through this process, they'll make changes to their financial situation. Make sense? Okay. Any questions about that? All right. So, I'll share with you a little bit of a formula that through the years I've come to through reading books like Maury's, reading other books, personal experience. What I've come up with is a formula for helping you to maximize the potential of your practice. As you sit there and you look at